Sweet Marshall Island, you are my homeland. We won't forget you and all the things that we've been through. Marshall Island, you're where we came from, the one who made us into the people that we are.
Yagwe, and welcome to Ozarks RiMajel, a special KUAF Public Radio Listening Lab multimedia series about Marshall Islanders who've navigated new lives in Northwest Arkansas. I'm your host, Marcina Langrine Operations Coordinator for the nonprofit Marshallese Educational Initiative, headquartered in Springdale. Our first guest is former Consul General of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, Carmen Samuel Chong. Carmen served as the first Consul General in Springdale Marshallese Consulate from 2008 until 2017. She was born on Island Lovelab Atoll on the Marshall Islands, and her matrilineal cultural home is Jaloj Atoll. She has a bachelor's degree in biology from the University of St. Mary's in Leavenworth, Kansas, and currently resides in Springdale with her husband, Charlie Chungum, her three beautiful children, and their first granddaughter. Carmen initially worked for several nonprofit multicultural support groups assisting newly arriving Marshallese migrants prior to her appointment as Consul General. Today, she works at University of Arkansas for Medical Science Institute for Community Health and Innovation as an outreach specialist. Good morning, Carmen. ¿Cómo está for being here?
Para Yahweh Chupong Marcina. Good to be here.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to share this space with you today. You were Consul General for almost a decade, and I'm interested to learn more about your journey and the work that you do with the community today. So let's jump to the first question. The Republic of the Marshall Islands citizens are free to move to Arkansas under the Compact of Free Association, also known as COFA. And COFA was first negotiated in 1986 with the United States, which continues to maintain a strategic military base on the Marshall Islands. And compact migrants can enter the U.S. with only a passport and an I-94 arrival record with no visas required. But under a U.S. trust agreement, Marshallese first began to settle in the U.S. in the 1970s, first in California, then moving eastward to Oklahoma, and then northwest Arkansas, where many thousands have settled, according to census records. So, Carmen, out of all the places in the U.S., what
Yes.
drew Marshallese here to northwest Arkansas or to the United States?
Well, if you may allow me to just give a brief history of how our people came to the United States. Like you're saying, it started in 1970s. That's when we were under the Tri-Territory of the Pacific Island Agreement with the United States. And the first wave of Marshallese that came to the United States happened with our young people that graduated from high school, and they sent them over to United States, continental United States, to attend college. So that was the first wave. And in Arkansas, we have John Moody, and we owe him a lot to mention him in this series as well, to say our thank you to him. But he was one of those college students that came in 1970s, and he came and, well, he went to Muskogee, Oklahoma, and then during his break he would come to the Ozarks, and that's when it all started, that he would bring his male cousins to come and work and save enough money so that they can bring their own family. So after the 1970s, like you're mentioning, the Compact of Free Association. So that created more reasons for people to come. Marshallese after the compact, with that agreement, we can come and work, live, have our kids attend school, medical reasons, and then we can come and go as we like. And when people come, they like it and they stay. So we had more people staying, and that's how the population here grew. Um, but those were the reasons, for medical reason, for school to live, and why not? And now coming to your questions on what drew them here. And of all those reasons, there were many reasons, but I think I would choose on jobs because Arkansas had lots of jobs, and we had those poultry companies that were very welcoming to our folks. There was still a lot of work to be done to make them situated, but job was the main purpose so that they can come, family that come and work, they can save enough money and bring their own.
You mentioned that, so Marshallese, they don't need a green card, and, no visas are required. Do you find it more difficult for Marshallese or those that don't know the history of the Marshall Islands? I've come across many times where Americans are like, oh, well, you need a green card because you're from the Marshall Islands. Is that still a struggle today? Is it because a lot of people they're just not aware of our history and about COFA?
I think the companies are and the people here are beginning to understand our status with the United States, our political status, that we don't need green card. We just need the passport and your I-94. That's all you need. You come to the community that you want to live at and get your ID or driver's license, and that's what they need. Beside, now they have all those other documents of medical bills and all that, so it can show that you are residing in that place.
Now that many Marshallese are settled here in Northwest Arkansas, are many of them working in all sorts of places, or are they working in just one specific area?
Um, over the years, at first, like we were saying, that they came and attend school, so they were college students, and then during breaks they would work. But at that time, it was just the working in the manufacturing plants. Nowadays, we have diversified our workforce. We are not just in the working manufacturing plants like Tyson's, George's, Cargill's. We are all over. We have Marshallese working in the schools. We have Marshallese working in the clinics. We have Marshallese working at the airport, and everywhere.
I think that's what's so unique and so amazing about our community is that we're known as to be a very shy community, but I love seeing them branch out and be into many different businesses. So, do you see more Marshall Islanders, operating businesses or running their own businesses?
Well, at first, we had Marshallese families running moms and pops retail stores, but I think there are some that are still in existence. They're still in business, but we had many that didn't make it, and so they have closed down. But I'm hearing that we have even young people operating real estate. They have real estate businesses. So um, we're working on it. I think our people are beginning to get outside of the box and go out and make use of all these opportunities. We're getting there.
It's so encouraging to see, the young adults, especially in our communities, not just do the usual where they have to stay home and, babysit or, go straight into working. So let's now transition into education. Islander children in Arkansas are required to enroll in public or private elementary and high school. Many have successfully graduated from high school. So, are they entering the workforce, enrolling in trade schools? And what about community college and university? Are they succeeding? If not, what barriers do they face?
Well, going back to what you're saying about that they're required to attend public school, I'm not too sure about that. Required to attend just public school, but I think they can
Maybe just
attend
schools in general. Yeah.
school in general. They can
Yeah.
attend all school in general, but and yes, they're required, and and also workforce. We have our children that are like we were saying that our workforce have diversified. Let's not forget about our citizens that
Mm-hmm.
they can enter the United States military force. They're in all the branches of the military force. They're serving the country, the nation, and they are in the Navy, in the Army, in the
The
what is it,
Marines.
Marines,
Yeah.
and Air Force. They're all in those, and if we are allowed to be in that new forest space, then we are in that too. But yeah, they are our children that have graduated. Either they stay home and become homemaker,
Mm-hmm.
just like everybody else.
Right.
But I think we're beginning to have our children, like your generation, younger generation, really having the confidence to move forward and even go up higher in their education journey.
Right. It's honestly such a treat to see, so many young adults, especially, yeah, like you said, my generation, branch out and not just go to the typical, go straight to like Walmart. Not that anything is wrong with Walmart, but I love, love, love seeing the youth pursue higher education, not only getting their associates, but also getting their master's or their PhD. And, I give a lot of credit to those before us, especially you. You've encouraged a lot of young adults, and you are truly, people say you're an icon per se.
Well, thank
And
you.
so it's just amazing to see, like, a lot of these youth, they don't want to just they want to do more, and it's just so encouraging to see. And I love that, they're into music. I've seen a lot of people start cleaning businesses, and so it's just so amazing to see. And so let's transition now to the next question. As islanders adapt to life in Northwest Arkansas, are they maintaining their root language and traditional gatherings? Like, for example, can you describe to our audience, like, what are Jabadas and Gemem celebrations, their meaning, and what is the purpose of these celebrations?
Well, first, we have to understand that our culture, our way of living, the way we celebrate, it all wrap around churches, our Marshallese churches. Like all of our customers are from, celebrations are from their churches. We are predominantly Christians, and so we celebrate Jabata. It's like Christmas celebration where different groups come and perform their dances and their music, their choral singing and all that. So it's a celebration. Being Christians is a celebration of Jesus' birth. But then we have KMM. KMM is another big thing. We do not require RSVP in our
Right, right.
KMM culture. We just give out the word and people come, our relatives and friends. Um, but KMM is a big celebration, first birthday of a child. And I believe I've been hearing our older folks saying that the reason why we're big on celebrating KMM is because there was one time in our history where our kids, or the first year of a baby life, it was hard. There was one time that many didn't make it to their first year, so that's why
Mhm.
it's a big thing in our culture. And if I may also point out, you're asking about our language. Um, just like other culture, other country, other people that have moved to a new country, in the process of trying to succeed here, we lose the importance, the significance of our culture, our own language, because we're so busy trying
Mm-hmm.
to be ahead, trying to survive, even to survive. So how do we balance that so that we don't lose our culture and we don't, and then at the same time we succeed here, and and that needs to be worked on.
Right. I think a lot of when we come to America, it's usually what is the American dream? So what can we do? But, you know, in the midst of all the busyness, I don't think people realize how truly how busy one individual can be throughout a single day. And I think that's where, we come back home, we're tired, and then we're just like, there's just no, regrouping with family because we're just tired or we're just constantly busy. And so, you did say that we are predominantly Christian. So, and with that, most Marshallese who are Christian attend local churches run by Marshallese. So, how do these churches serve hardworking islanders in the region, the Northwest Arkansas region?
um, when I was working in the community, it was very vital that we include the churches because that's where people go to, that they're comfortable, they feel they feel safe. So working with the Marshallese churches is very important, and I hope that the leaders of the churches would continue to have that mindset of being open, you know, kingdom come on earth, that they're open to what we're trying to help, offer, open to the communities that are wanting to bring in their resources and their way of helping programs to help their members. So and beside that, our churches, it's all in Marshallese, so that we can tap into that and utilize how we balance these two cultures. They do their part in making sure that our language is alive. So I've heard of a family saying that another reason why they bring their kids to church is so that they can be with the other kids and and make their Marshallese better. So hopefully that they have also that mindset. So the churches are very vital in our being situated here away from home.
That's actually a really interesting point that you point because for one, I grew up in Honolulu, Hawaii, and then I moved shortly to Missouri. But in Missouri, there's not that much Marshallese, and so when I moved to Arkansas, it was actually a culture shock to me because I saw not just like a couple of Marshallese, but hundreds of Marshallese, and I give big thanks to the churches because they actually helped me learn more Marshallese, especially reading the Bible. The Rugagi or the pastor would actually sit with me and like teach me words that, I couldn't pronounce. And so I'm really grateful to them and thankful to them for, teaching me the root language, but also, the community. The community has played such a vital role. And, speaking on that, new generations of islanders in Arkansas now include hundreds of Marshallese American children and young adults. So, how are they navigating between both cultures?
Well, it is hard, and I find that with our experience with our children, I wish that we had done differently. But it's now that they want to learn. But as parents, and I think we should make this as something that needs to be done, a law or something, that every family will do it. That at home everything is in Marshallese. You speak, you talk about Marshallese. But then when you go outside to schools, for example, then let them be American citizens and especially speak English, because that's where do they will be exposed more to the language. But at home, make it like, yeah, we're going to do all Marshallese. And on top of that, I think that's a need, and somebody has to come up with a Marshallese 101 after school program or something because we need it, and we will definitely lose our. I can see if we don't do something now, we will lose our language because now when younger people are talking, they mix Marshallese and it's not pure Marshallese that they're in their language when they're talking. So we need to do something now, or else we'll lose it. And especially that we don't have all the things here. They're not growing up with coconut trees, so we you can tell them in Marshallese because we have different words for climbing. So we lose those words to climb. We have different words to climb that tree. This one, a house, we have different word for that. So if we don't have the coconut trees and the different fish and the abandoned trees and all the way of life back home, then we will lose all those because we don't have them here to use them every day.
Yeah, I think it's like for especially, like the kids that grew up in the diaspora, especially for my generation, we long to go home, and it's just, and luckily I was able to do that for the first time in 28 years. And it was a culture shock to my own culture because I'm just like, wow, life in the islands is definitely different than life in the US. And so I was very fortunate and blessed enough to go back home and to see the difference. And it's very different. I did. It was hot. It was very, very hot to go back home. But I genuinely loved it. The Everybody was just amazing, and I hope to go back again soon one day as well. And so, with that being said, are there any closing comments you wish to share about Ozark Islanders?
If I may mention about the um, the success of our students, um, if we are going slow in Arkansas, we have few, or maybe it's the number is climbing, is increasing. But if we combine all the students from all over the United States, we probably have a big number of our kids that have succeeded in going to school and are going up. But in education and anything else, we have barriers. We have barriers that we need to understand and know how to deal with. As far as barriers in for other kids that cannot make it, they have different reasons not to make it. Could be that they don't know how to navigate, they don't know how to apply for colleges, they don't have enough money, they don't know that their parents have scholarship resources at where they're working at. So barriers, I believe that knowledge is power. So if we're coming to the United States and elsewhere outside of the our home country, we need to really know, use all of our senses to know, to try to understand what is around us, to know how to navigate our lives here. So if you have the knowledge, then everything will fall into places. Um, the I guess thank you for adding more to our conversation this morning, but I would I would suggest that people I would suggest that people look into New Island. There was a documentary that was, I guess it was the first documentary here in Northwest Arkansas that was made by a University of Arkansas journalist, Dale Carpenter. Um, Check that out, New Island, if you want to learn more about how the Islanders came to Northwest Arkansas. That would be a good start. And they also it also shows history of our little bit history of our places. But I really want to express my gratitude and gratefulness to all those people over the years, many individuals, groups, organizations, even the cities, uh, political leaders that that really made it possible to us, that made laid out a welcoming atmosphere for us. They were welcoming. They were made us feel accepted, included, appreciated. So I really want to, you know who you are. I wish I have more time to list everyone's name, but I wish to thank you all, especially the City of Springdale Jones Center, EOA of Washington County, Chamber of Commerce for Springdale, all the manufacturing companies like Tyson, Cargill, um, George's, and the RMI Office of the President, and MOFA, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the embassy in Washington D.C. and the government of Majuro Atoll local government. And it all started out. I started with Multicultural Center at that time, and Springdale School District. All these people, companies, and organizations that help us make us feel welcome for the first wave of Marshall Islanders that came to the area, and also including all the other um, communities throughout the United States, and also to Ozark, KUF. Yes, Jacqueline Froelich, for always being there to make sure that our stories being told. And if I don't mention you, we're very grateful. And can I also add ACOM, MEI, UAMS, Institute for Community Health and Innovation, and all the Marshallese churches that are working together to make sure that our community, our people are served and are welcome here.
Yes, thank you. And shout out to all these organizations, that had, stood by us, especially in advocacy for our Marshallese community. And so, with that being said, thank you, Kumotada Carmen, for being on this episode of Ozarks RiMajel, a special KUF Public Radio Listening Lab series. And so, thank you so much again.
Marshall Island, you are my home.